It's easy to hear your favorite artist on WFPK from wherever you are. Listen on your smart speaker, live stream from our website at WFPK.org from Louisville Public Media.
Consequence Podcast Network.
Hey, welcome to another edition of Kyle Meredith with, the interview series presented by WFPK at WFPK.org, Consequence of Sound, and the Consequence Podcast Network. Thank you so much for checking out the series here. Hopefully, if you're not already, you'll hit that subscribe button before you get out. We put out brand new interviews every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 3 interviews a week, so you can keep up with all of your favorite artists, discover some new ones, and know what's happening in the music world. Of course, you can subscribe at any of the major podcast hotspots like iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or even YouTube. Really, wherever you like to get your podcast from, just type in Kyle Meredith with, hit subscribe. And I'm Kyle Meredith. Today I'm going to be talking to Mick Box of Uriah Heep. They have just released a brand new box set called 50 Years in Rock, 23 CDs that covers, I think, every one of their records, including 4 compilations put together by the bandmates themselves about their favorite tracks. So I'll be talking with Mick about all of that, and then looking back through all of those years to their early days of transitioning from the band Spice to Uriah Heep and finding their sound for their very first album, into their masterpiece in the mid-70s with Look at Yourself, a breakthrough record for them. Why he was attracted to fantasy lyrics, and especially continuing that trend throughout the years, even into their newest records. Also in this box set, there's a new artwork for the album Magician's Birthday. He'll give us the reason why on that. The late 70s found Firefly with a new lead singer. I want to hear if that was really a reset for the band, because it led to some pretty great commercial moments into the early 80s. And in fact, when you're a band for 50 years, trends come and go, but Uriah Heep really they didn't really ever seem lost, I guess is what I was saying. We're going to talk about the late 80s and what the metal scene was like in the 90s and trying to keep up with that as well. And of course, their next album. Studio time was booked before the pandemic. Let's get the update there as well. So getting into it, Kyle Meredith with Uriah Heep.
Hello, Carl. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, congratulations on 50 years, man.
Well, thanks, mate. You know, it's amazing, isn't it? You know, I'm so proud and honoured that we've come this far, and we're still looking at moving on beyond that. You know, with new albums and new tours. So yeah, it's a great marker, and wow, you never thought you were ever going to get there, but you know, not many bands have. We have, and we're very proud of it.
Yeah, you're still making excellent music. I know the last time we talked was behind Living the Dream, but now we're looking at a box set, 23 CDs. I mean, the albums are in here. You've got, I'm reading this 4 curated compilations. And aside from the albums, I think that's one of the things fans are looking forward to. Each of you kind of went on and put together your list of favorites. Is that what the compilations are?
Yeah, basically, it was B&G's idea, a record company. They went to each individual person and said, you know, give us your list of favourite Heep songs, you know. So everybody was going to do that. And I thought, well, you know what, I'm going to do something different, because I'm sure everyone's going to choose all the Easy Livings and the Gypsies and the Sweet Veins, whatever it is, the hits, if you like. And so I went for the deeper cuts, and I thought that would be more interesting for the fans. So anyhow, it was a great idea, and I hope the fans enjoy all the individual choices.
Do you find that you lean towards, maybe not the hits, obviously, you're going to the deeper cuts, but do you find that you lean towards certain eras of the band more than others?
Not me personally, because I've been involved with everyone, but probably someone like Ken and Lee would be in the era that they're tenure with the band, and same with Paul Newton. So, but me, I try to cover the whole lot, because it is very important for me to treat the whole 50 years as a whole, not as part of a successful period or a non-successful or a more successful period or whatever it is.
Well, there's been lots of those great periods. I do want to ask about a few of the albums in here, maybe a question about a handful of these. And I'll start with the beginning with very heavy, very humble. I mean, here is, where it starts album-wise. It wasn't an instant classic. Do you find that what you all were doing at that point wasn't recognizable to folks who were hearing it?
I think what it was that we were in a band called Spice prior to Uriah Heep, and it was a 4-piece. And Spice, we chose the name Spice because, in the culinary world there's many, many spices, and we didn't want our music to be just one genre. We wanted it to be many. And so it's a bleed over Spice into recording the first album that then you changed our name to Uriah Heep when we got a keyboard player that Ken Hensley come and join us. So, on the first album there's a bit of jazz on there, Wake Up, Set Your Sights, there's a bit of blues, Lucy's Blues, there's a bit of rock, there's a bit of metal with Gypsy, there's a bit of everything in there, folk, we come on way Belinda. And so it was quite diverse. And then when we got to Salisbury, our second album, we were pretty much on that tack, only we were going more into a progressive rock era with the actual title of the track, Salisbury was 20 minutes long. And then we got to Look at Yourself. We travelled around the world a few times then, and we decided we just wanted to be a straightforward rock band. And of course, Demon Wizards were recorded, and that took us onto the world stage, and we were off and running.
Did you all, Look at Yourself is looked at as a masterpiece by a lot of fans, by a lot of critics. Did you feel it was really all coming together at that time? Like, could you recognize that in itself in that moment?
Yeah, so I think our direction was found then, definitely. We just wanted to be a straight-up rock band at that point, and I thought that reflected in that album very well. And then we took it into another sphere, if you like, with Wings and Dimmers and Wizards, where we not only musically we changed things lyrically, which resonated with lots of people, with the wizardry and stuff like that, and also by getting the artwork from Roger Dean involved in Dimmers and Wizards. It was the first time that we actually had an album and a cover intrinsically linked together as one product, if you like.
The Wizards and everything, fantasy became a part of your lyrics and still, finds its way in on the new music too. And a lot of songwriters over the years, your taste changed, but that's sort of always found its way there. Do you find like you have to service brand isn't the right word, that sounds kind of cringy, but, sort of the persona of Uriah Heep to fit that stuff in there?
Well, I think that we have to stay true, even to this day, writing new songs. You write Heep songs, you know what I mean? You can't step too far away from it or get too away from what everybody expects from us. And I think that's the essence of it all, really. I think writing songs, you write them, but, there'll be a pile on the left that says, no, they're not for Heep, and there's a pile on the right that are definitely Heep, and they're the ones that we work on. So, yeah, we can't venture too far away from what we're known for. Although lyrically, we only took the fantasy lyrics really on about 2 or 3 albums, and then we let them let it go, and then other people picked up the mantle and took it on to other great things.
You had mentioned the artwork in there, and that brings up this box set again because The Magician's Birthday gets reimagined artwork. What's the story with that? Well,
BMG wanted to release a vinyl in the box set, and they spoke with Roger Dean about it because he was the most famous artist connected with us in terms of the artwork on covers. He did Demons and Wizards. He did Magician's Birthday. He also did I think it's the 25th anniversary, Sea of Light. And they wanted to use him, so they said to him, would you reimagine the artwork for Magician's Birthday? He said yes, so they decided to remaster it and put it in the box set as well, which is great. I think it's really, really, really great addition.
Pulling further later on in the 70s, when you look at Firefly now, here it finds you guys, new singer, you sort of finding a new sound. Did that album feel like a reset to you?
It was to a degree because, we'd lost David. David had left the band, and we got in John Lawton as our vocalist, who didn't have the charisma and the stage presence and everything else that David had, but he certainly had a set of pipes, and that's why he joined the band, purely on his musical voice. His voice was just amazing. He was a powerhouse. And I think John brought a certain element to the band that was different to how David would deliver a song, if you like. But they were both equally good in their own way. But we went on to great success with that, really. We went, onto Innocent Victim and stuff. And certainly in Europe, we were having immense success with John.
And then, I'll kind of pull later on in that, too, because for a band that stays around as long as you all do, it can be challenging to find your way. I never got that feeling with you all. Like, even when you look at the late 80s with Equator and Raging Silence, which, by the way, fantastic cover of Hold Your Head Up on there. But even in Sonic Origami in the 90s, like, the hard rock scene had changed and you all were still finding your way in it. Did you ever feel lost as the trends came and went?
Not particularly, because I think one of the big changes happened in the 80s with production on albums and how people listen to things and how people want to listen to things and how things were played on radio, to be honest. With the Mutt Langers of the world coming in, with Def Leppard doing 18 months to make an album, and loads of producers were all going along that same route, to a month to get a drum sound, and it drive me crazy. We had to kind of bend a little bit with that, and luckily in that Abominable album, we had Peter Colby as a vocalist. He had a very radio-friendly voice, and I think we pampered a little bit to the production side of things, because I listen to it now, and it sounds like an 80s production. But it still sounds good.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing. It doesn't sound dated in a bad way. It sounds dated in a really good way.
Well, as I mentioned, Living the Dream, that's the most recent time that we talked and everything, and that had so many exciting moments on it. So that brings up the question, what happens next? Do you all see the next step at this point?
Well, yeah, we actually had a studio booked in England, the same studio we recorded Chapel Studios, the same studio we recorded Living the Dream. And we had Jay Ruston, the same producer. We decided to go the same route because, it was received so well by the fans and the media alike as one of the best albums of our career. We thought, we'd take this a step further. We got it all booked for February, but then we went into lockdown here in England for another month, which has kind of thrown things in disarray. So we're not quite sure whether people can come in and have to self-isolate for 2 weeks and whether we can all get together in a room or not. It's all been thrown in disarray. So we had it booked, but nevertheless, we're still writing like mad to get an album written, and so that when it all settles down and hopefully COVID disappears into the ether and we can get into a studio, do a new album, and all the shows we in 2020 are now put in 2021, and we hope that they'll all come to fruition and we can get back to some normality.
Well, I can't wait to hear what that new music sounds like. Mick, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. And again, congratulations on this box set and 50 years of excellent music. Thank you so much.
That's lovely, Carl. Thanks very much, mate. We can't wait to get out of lockdown and get into rockdown.
Right on, man. We'll see you then.
Cheers, mate.
Right,
bye for now.
Now, of course, it wasn't that long ago, just back in 2018, the last time Mick and I talked, we got to discuss their 25th LP, Living the Dream, always finding their classic sound, writing topical songs, and at that point, plans for the upcoming 50th anniversary, part 2 of Kyle Meredith with Uriah Heep.
Hello, Kyle.
It was a pleasure to talk to you. Congratulations on this really powerful new record.
No, that's marvelous. Thank you very much, my friend.
I mean, and 25 albums. I think that's the official count that I've been reading. Do you still...
It is the official count,
yeah.
You have to get a birthday cake made with it, huh?
This far in, do you still find yourself playing with how an album is written, or have you settled into maybe the formula, how it happens from album to album now?
I think, I'm a writer, so I write every day, whether it be, a riff, a chord sequence, a lyric or a title or a blog or a book or a story or something. It's just something I do every day. So when it's time to do an album, I get with our keyboard player, put Phil Lanson, who's my writing partner. He does the same thing on keyboards I do on guitar. With the ideas, he's got the same work ethic. So we just get together and pull the ideas and start writing songs. So it's pretty much the same way, to be honest, because we always do the music first, then we do the melody, then we do the lyrics, then we present it to the band.
And it's incredible how it comes out. And I'll hit on some of these songs too. Graced by Heaven. I mean, that comes out just swinging like something heavy anyway. It seems like maybe we're making a statement right out of the gates. Is that the case?
It is a statement out of the gate. You're absolutely correct there, yeah. We wanted to do that because we wanted to prove to everybody that, we're alive and kicking and we still have the same passion for our music we've always had. And I think Grace does that perfectly, and it drags people in, or draws people in, I hope, and then that settles them down for the rest of the album.
Yeah, and in fact, we don't really get to come up for air until Water's Flowin' kind of arrives, which brings that acoustic back in. Do you still find yourself, especially on a heavy record like this, do you find yourself needing or wanting that, classic acoustic sound to be found somewhere in there?
Well, we've always had that in our armory, if you like, and nearly every album. So it's something we established way back in our first album. We're very, very, very humble. We had the anthemic Gypsy, which was very hard rock, and then we had something as beautiful as Come On, Belinda, which is an acoustic song, So we've always had that, as I say, in our armory. So it was a natural extension for us to do that. The song was written, and it fitted perfectly in the format of the album.
And speaking of those older songs, some fans have pointed out that Falling Under Your Spell feels like it has a little bit of that easy living DNA in it. Is that coincidence, wishful hearing from fans, or do you hear that as well?
Well, when I heard it said to me, I nearly fell off my chair. Because I couldn't see any comparisons at all, because Easy Living is just a shuffle, and Falling Under Your Spell isn't. So it really surprised me that comparison was made. But so I'm still trying to get my head round how that does sound like Easy Living. But it is a 3-minute song that has a lot of powerful elements in it, as Easy Living did. So maybe it's that they're listening to.
Yeah, well, nostalgia is always strong with fans, especially when you've got a band that's been around for as long as you all have. I do find that sometimes
it's a very powerful drug, my friend.
In a classic set, when you've had as many members as you've had come and go throughout the years, and in separate times, how do you come to a point to find that classic sound, or is it even that you need to find that classic sound because I don't know, because this sounds like a Heep record at the end of it. It sounds like one from today, but there's still that there. Like, how is that completely possible? I guess is what I'm asking.
Well, I think we established a musical template, at least back in the 70s with our first album. And I think we've carried that all the way through. If you've got the hammered organ, you've got the wah-wah guitar, you've got the 5-part harmonies that we have, distinctive lead vocal. I mean, you apply that to any song, it becomes Heepy. And that's exactly how we view it, I mean, we take the songs to the band, and they may have an inkling of Heep, but once the band get hold of it, it becomes Heep in seconds, So it's just how we apply ourselves to each song.
And I had to ask about It's All Been Said, too, because on the surface, just that title, again, when you've been around for about 50 years in this band, it seems like that would sort of be the wall that you're playing against, that it's all been said.
There's certainly an element of that, and well done for noticing that, yes.
Yeah, and what is the challenge? I mean, how hard is the challenge for you to kind of find something new to say and something new to offer in each new record?
I think, we're a band that travel in 61 countries around the world, so, we're out there, we see different cultures, different things happening in the world, As long as you've got your creative antenna out, there's plenty to write about. I mean, It's All Been Said was just a reflection on newspapers and how they present news and how people, hunger for the very next line to be written, and how crime and celebrity sit side by side each other on a daily basis, So it's just a comment on that, really. But there's plenty of things out there. If you've got imagination, there's no shortage of things to write about.
Yeah. Speaking of that early, is it too early to start thinking about that 50th anniversary, or has that already been in your mind?
It keeps coming up, I have to say, and we're treating, because the first album was released in 1970, we're looking at 2020 being the 50th anniversary. But we're absolutely immersed in the Living the Dream promotion tours and into, the actual full touring schedule. And somewhere along that line, the ideas will flow, and we'll talk to our management, and we'll find something exciting to do in the 50th anniversary, because it's a milestone that not many bands have reached, and we're very proud we will have reached that milestone, and it has to be celebrated, for the fans alone.
It is an incredible milestone, and early congratulations on that, by the way. We'll get to the real thing, I guess, in a few years.
Thank you.
For the upcoming shows, how much of this record do you incorporate into the tour?
Well, we're going into a rehearsal period on the 1st of October before we start a 2-month run through Europe to end at Christmas. And what we're going to do is what we try to do is because we travel in 61 countries in the world, we kind of get a feel for the songs that people like to hear from our heritage, from our old stuff, if you like. So, the July Mornings, maybe the Stealing, the Gypsy, Easy Living, or maybe Lady in Black. So we use that as a nucleus, and then we'll add in tracks from the new album. Obviously, Grazed by Heaven will be an inclusion. Take Away My Soul's an obvious stage number, So there are obvious ones that we'll pop in and see how it fits with the historical stuff, and then we'll look at some older stuff that we haven't performed for ages and rehearse that up and put that into the pile too. And so it'll be a set list that actually goes from our first album, Very Heavy, Very Humble, 1970. Right up to Living the Dream in 2018. I keep saying 2000, God help us. 2018. And it'll be a good journey through our career, our musical career, which is great.
Well, that's a hell of a career. I noticed a couple other records are sort of, celebrating their own big round anniversaries. I don't know how much stock or how much attention you give on that, but a record like Fallen Angel, which it's 30 years earlier this year. Is there any reflection on that record? Is there anything that comes to mind? Because that was sort of maybe the height of, I guess, mainstream popularity for Uriah Heep, right?
Yes, amazing. We keep getting these milestones and anniversaries coming up, which is just every time it really does surprise me. But marvelous. I mean, Fallen Angel was an album that I think we'd lost our way in the rock field, but found our way in the pop field. I think it got a bit too poppy and nice and polite as opposed to being a full-on rock band. Fallen Angel. It's still got good songs. Don't get me wrong. And I think John Lawton, the vocalist at the time, sort of made them quite rocky. But I think we were losing our way a little bit from all the progressive rock we were doing and all the real rock songs we were producing. But it's still a great album, and fans still love it.
Same here, and just one little milestone in a very long career leading up to this latest one, too. It has been really fun to listen to the new record, and again, congratulations on this one, Mick. We'll be excited to hear how these songs sound live.
Thank you very much, Carl. They'll sound great live because, we recorded them live in the studio in the first place. So we can play the whole album from top to bottom with no qualms at all on live. So we look forward to it.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear it. All right, man. Thank you very much for the talk, and take care.
Thank you, Carl. Thanks very much, mate.
Right,
thanks
bye.
for your support. Thank you. Bye-bye.
And again, my thanks, Mick Box, and the new Uriah Heep box set, 50 Years in Rock. Big thanks to you for checking out the episode as well. Before you get out, I do hope you hit that subscribe button. Again, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Acast, wherever you like to get your podcast from. Just type in Kyle Meredith with. We'll send you 3 new interviews every single week. Then after that, head over to WFPK.org. That's where I do a show Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, an hour full of song premieres and music news, anniversary spins, and bonus interviews. Again, WFPK.org, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Consequence of Sound has your music and film news. You can also find me on the social media spots, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all 3 of them at Kyle Meredith. Please do like and follow along there as well. And that does it for another edition. I'm Kyle Meredith. I'll see you next time.
Consequence Podcast Network.
Hey, I'm Jen, and I love horror movies.
I'm Mikey. I'm dead inside it. I also love horror movies.
And we really like to torture our friend Todd because he hates horror movies.
That I do. And that's why they call me the horror virgin.
That's the only reason we call him that.
That's
I'm not-
no other reasons at all.
None at all.
blanket.
Whatever. So
Every week, we take him through the Encyclopedia of Horror, the good, the bad, the ridiculously Jack Frosts,
and then we make fun of it more or less.
or explain its deceptive feminism.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I do. That's my thing.
And I'm the funny one. Our episodes drop on Monday, so check us out.
It's easy to hear your favorite artist on WFPK from wherever you are. Listen on your smart speaker, live stream from our website at WFPK.org, from Louisville Public Media.